present on winter assessments today. And then we got the big rollout of the ELA, whatever I'm trying to say, the ELA people. Did you go
Yeah,
to it last night? Okay,
yeah.
did it help you at all? Do you feel like it gave you anything you needed?
Yeah, like I liked how they like outlined everything and how they were like, okay, you need this many copies of this. I feel like, and I can share what they shared with me.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Boyer.
Okay. Yeah, I did see him in there.
Yeah, the two slide things. Yeah.
So I think that was important and like that was beneficial.
Sure.
They didn't really go into like that much about the testing. And then I also liked how they had some misconceptions of like, what if they pass the encoding and not the decoding? And
Right.
I've had that in the fall I had
Yes.
that, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. What
Yes.
to do now?
Yeah.
And that's about it. It was very quick. They even ended early, like at 6:10 they ended.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That was super early, but that's good. I mean, at least they kind of just gave it an overview and let you know kind of how to do it.
I just realized my head's in that.
It's
Sorry.
fine. I like your head.
I didn't wash my hair, so. Don't
Now
listen
you're
on the
on
back.
camera. Now you're on camera, right? Saying that. I'm glad that you did that. Also, I want to ask you, do you need a K through second skills assessment book? Would you like to have one? I didn't bring mine. I forgot to bring it from my desk. But I have a bajillion of them.
I'll
It's-
say yes, but I
it's
don't
a
know
little
if I have one
manual.
already.
Okay, I don't think you do.
Okay,
It's a
then,
little
yeah.
manual, and it just has all of the different assessments that you can do, like the overall skills assessment, but then there are also smaller assessments within that. That if you have a student who's not progressing for some reason, maybe they get the encoding but not the decoding, or the decoding and not the encoding, or whatever, there are assessments in that manual that you can give to that student, quick and easy, that just kind of dig deeper to find out
And yeah, I did.
what's going on with your student.
Yeah, because I feel like the one student that she's gonna start pulling, like I just like feel like now I'm like, I don't think he's growing
Yeah.
since what you tested him. I'm like, okay, well, let me go back now.
Yeah, and just see. But I mean, he's one that could probably benefit from going a little deeper in testing to maybe kind of pinpoint or find out exactly what's going on. You know, where the discrepancy is, or where the lack of knowledge is, to kind of pull him forward if we can do that. You know, if it's possible, we want to do that. I gave you a copy of the skills. I love this. This is like something that you need to like pin up somewhere or tape it or whatever so you can keep it. Here's the reason for this. This is a correlation chart, obviously, and it goes between UFly. It also tells you the EL microphase and the EL, or the microphase and the EL cycle. Okay, that how they all coordinate together. So I know that in the fall we gave Corphonics, which should have been skills, my bad, but you kind of got the same information from Corphonics that you would have gotten from the skills assessment. So, but here's the big deal. Now you can look, if you know what UFly lesson your students are on, you can look at this correlation chart and find the first column is going to be their microphase. Okay, so like if they're if they're on like 52, then you know they're early partial alphabetic. Okay, if they're on UFly lesson 52. So if anybody ever asks you what microphase your students are in, you know, you can look it up and like say, oh, well, this group is early partial alphabetic, or this group is early full alphabetic. But what I love about it too is that if you look at the third column, it starts the cycles. So you can also see what cycle they're on. And when you do whole group skills, if you're not giving them, if you choose not to give UFly resources as their small group, or maybe they're beyond some of the UFly resources, you can always pull. It tells you exactly what cycle they fall in. So you can go and pull, and I brought this little example. You got a cycle book, okay? So you can look up what cycle they're in. Like cycle.
Are
This
better
is
than last year.
yeah.
I
They
added
changed the
2 of 'em.
cycles.
Like,
Yes,
thank goodness.
they're a lot better. And the one part, the reason that I did this today is to talk about UFly and skills and how they fit together. But really, they're never going to fit together perfectly.
No.
They're just not. So we have to kind of
Is that
think of
aggressive?
them. No. It's just true.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I've been thinking since August to now, and I'm still thinking about it. How is this going to work together? How can I make this easier for teachers? How can we make this less time consuming and all fit together? Because I like things to be in a box with a pretty bow and, here's my instruction. But it's not always like that, right? Sometimes we have to get the wrinkled paper with no bow and, maybe the dog ripped it. And in my house, anyway, that's what happens. The dog rips the paper and, sorry, we didn't try to unwrap your gift. The dog did. She wanted whatever was in that box. But anyway, what I was going to say is when you do, when you find out or figure out what cycle your kids are in, then you've got all kinds of materials at your hands that you don't have to create or recreate or anything like that. If you look at the cycle they're in, let's say they're in cycle 18, you've got a whole lesson, you've got a whole little thing of books, little decodables to go with it. I also, honestly, I know what I didn't tell you. I made, let me show you something. Did you get your content connections?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the decodables. Yes.
Yes. So you've got a list of these decodables that also go with UFly lessons. So at the very least, pass out the decodables. Use these.
Yeah, I've been using those.
Yeah, great. Because I know some teachers are kind of like, they're still in the boxes, they're behind the door, whatever. But I just tried to, I was like, okay, if I want them to use them, I need to give them maybe some guidance on how to use them. So these are great little books.
No, I take
to
ownership
work
of
on.
starting that movement. Because I asked you,
Yes.
can you make that list of cycles? So I didn't know what they were. So
Yeah.
I take ownership of that.
Yeah, and after I created that, I found it. But that's okay.
Oh.
That's all right.
Well, I still use the one you created, so I feel like that one.
Because it's a little more detailed. Isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
I did. You asked me if there was one, and I said I'll find it, and I couldn't find it, so I made it.
I
But-
use that one, and so I look at
Good.
what it matches.
Yeah.
It's hard though because like some of the cycles don't match what they're doing.
Exactly.
So like I was struggling with that. So like one week they would have a book and then one week they wouldn't and then
Yeah.
the next week they would and they would forget to use that book,
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm starting to use the UFly decodable
Yes. The
as
text.
their reading
Yes.
if they don't have that book.
Absolutely. If there's not one of these on there, and there's not because it doesn't fit perfectly, and some of them are repeated because they don't teach the same letters at the same time,
And
or they
that,
don't teach the same words at the same time. So I tried to match them up as best I could.
Yeah.
But I would always defer to the UFly.
Well, I always had it as like a station
decodable
for them
text.
to read, but now
Yes.
I'm like having them read it like all week, every
Yes.
day. Like that's one of their steps now, as like the book is.
Fluency. I mean, it's a big fluency thing, right?
Yeah.
They can also do other things with it. I don't know if we've talked about that before, but whatever your new words are, or your new sound, or your new letter, you can always have them go through and highlight.
That's
those
what they do
things
the
in
first day.
text. Yeah, perfect. Yay! It's exciting. But it's not. I mean, that's the thing, I guess, that I need to say. The bottom line or the big takeaway: they're not always going to fit together pretty. So, but because we have to teach. It's the expectation that we're teaching that small group or that large or whole group skills. Keep doing it, and then just keep doing UFly along with it, and eventually they will get there, right? But I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of how to figure out, because I will tell you, if anybody from district walks in your room and says, well, how do you know what cycle they're on or what microphase they're in? Now you have the answer. I'm going to make sure everybody gets one of these too, even though no one else came today but you. But I'll make sure everybody gets one so they can also refer to it. Because, I mean, you can memorize where your kids are, but I would still have to look because that's just me. I could say, oh, I know they're early partial alphabetic, but I still would be like, oh, yeah, they're early partial alphabetic because there's just so many things to remember. This is also a great guide to show you, for you, for example, for second grade, what they should be through by the time they finish second grade.
Yeah.
So you can kind of gauge it by, if you know that you have some students in your room who are still early partial alphabetic, like in the kindergarten skills, then you know you got a lot of movement to do. Talking about moving our kids and bringing up our numbers, our test scores, things like that. We kind of talked about we're really going to concentrate on our middle kids or our fence sitters, our yellow ones. So if you look on here and you've got some kids that are middle full alphabetic or late full alphabetic, then you're going to know those are the kids that you can probably go on and get on grade level, like as soon as you can. You may even want to accelerate what they're doing a little bit to get them there. So, yeah. And then there's a little tiny portion on the back for second grade. Yeah. But I love that it gives you basically what they are learning or what they need to learn or master in second grade as far as the skills go and the cycles. And if you look, it's really not that many. I mean, it's like 55 through 72. So that's not a huge...
It's not a lot, but they're the hardest ones.
They are.
So I feel like that's why there's not a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to take them longer to master this.
Exactly. That's why
doubling, we just started, and they looked at me like a deer in headlights. I was like, oh, shit, okay. Let me slow down a second.
Yeah. Well, and if you'll notice, there are also the UFLA lessons that go along with that.
Yeah. I pulled those into it.
Yeah. And the first time that I taught the double consonants in UFLA, the kids looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know if other languages, I mean, I know Spanish does, they do double L's, but I mean, I don't know if it's like do they not double their consonants?
I don't know, but I've learned a lot about our other languages with doing youth fly because, like you said, the kids will look at me and I'm like, is your native language not? And they're like,
yeah.
Like, okay. So
Right.
it's been an eye opener for me, to kind of see why our kids are struggling with some of this stuff.
Absolutely.
It's like, okay, I just didn't process it or think about it, before going through these specific lessons with them.
Yeah. And we've talked a lot about, what's best. What's the best thing? Our skills, should we go back to doing small group skills? Should we keep UFLA as our small group? Or our phonics and phonemic awareness instruction? What is best? What's going to be best for teachers? What's best for kids? And I'm interested to hear your opinion on that.
Well, how much time we got?
I don't know.
I love
45
UFLA.
minutes
UFLA is
or
the best.
15
I had found more love for skills. Last year I didn't even do skills. I did Orton Gillingham, and I still stand by that's the best.
Yeah.
But I understand we have to do skills. I don't dislike it. There's just so much in it that I take away a lot, to be completely honest.
Yes.
And
In
then
order
I'm
to
more
fit it in. Yeah.
some of my Orton Gillingham stuff in it, to be honest. But I just know that scientifically proven that's great.
It is.
And so I kind of do like Orton Gillingham, sounds, sand, blending, all that stuff. I do Hegarty as well for like the rhyming and all that stuff. And they're just, all of those are just so quick and easy that we do it in less than 15 minutes for Hegarty and OG. And then we do the skills lesson.
Right.
And it's not terrible, but do I need to add stuff? Yeah. Like the doubling with vowels, the reason it didn't go as well because they don't know ED. So now I'm going back today and teaching ED, which they should already know technically.
Yes.
It's not terrible, but and then I go into UFly and like it's a lot of my UFly groups, or one of my UFly groups is literally on that. So they're actually working on ED as well, just because that's what they landed on.
Sure.
And then.
And it's a shame that not everybody is
working
on ED at the same time. That's,
It was amazing how they landed on it, but I will say then the higher group, they did already work on that, so they know ED. So it's like 2 out of 5, and the 3 others are on
still
over
on
here.
letters. Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know. I like UFly. I just wish that there was a little bit more resources. Like there's the roll and read and there's the Decodable, which is great. I love those.
Can I send you something right now?
Yeah.
Don't know how I missed you on this one. It's on the content connections as well. I put a link on there.
I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the little
red words
one pager.
then,
Yeah. It's a one pager. And so, and they get more sophisticated as the lessons become more sophisticated. That, you know, the first ones are like A says write an A, you know, uppercase A, lowercase a. Then you find the short A words. Then you read the little I sit, I tap, or whatever. Oh, that's 35. Maybe that's lesson 35. It and short I, short A.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's basically what you get.
So I saw that and I had a panic. You know that mid-year panic where you're like, oh my God, they're not growing. They're about to take the win. I had that this weekend.
I think everybody's having it right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm here right now. And so I decided to like staple that into their agenda. It's not homework, but if they want to, because it has
practice.
everything, and it's nothing that they need to like
be instructed on.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing with some of my groups.
Yes.
So I've started to copy that, even past ones, like we're here, but this for review, and then I'm doing like a little reward system with them. You don't have to, but if you do it and you read it and you get a parent to sign it, then you you know, get so many stars, and then you get a hall ticket or treasure box or something, you know, because that practicing at home, that's going to take what, 5-10 minutes at the most.
Maybe
In my note, I even said like,
know.
literally take this out while you're driving home, and they can read it.
Right.
Like that's all you need to do, and
Right.
before bed, or you know what I mean, like this
And
simple
plus,
thing.
the parents know what their child is
Yes.
working on here, which I
Yes.
think is a big piece of what is my kid learning. This is what your child is working on.
Yeah.
You know,
I just hope that they,
are doing it.
especially the low learners, like
Right.
I know my high learners are going to, because I see that their parent signs their agenda every day, but some of these low learners don't, and that's what I'm worried about, and they're the ones that need to do it. So I'm like,
And maybe if it's a, you know, a reward system or a, you know.
So my
if they
group that
get
I pull, I'll
something.
start. I'm gonna, because I just started pulling them yesterday. I will do this with them, just so
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
So I'll have
That's
that
awesome.
reward.
okay.
But if you could come up with something in the classroom, I mean, even if it's, you know, who knows, just on Friday.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
you
it's a
just
reward
stop
if
and
they,
look.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
great.
it's already a reward. But I don't know. Like, I feel like there's just more that needs to be done instead of 2 days. So I like will recreate something, or I mean, teacher grade teacher, I hate to say that, but like it has good worksheets, so it's like
There are all kinds of resources that
Yeah.
go with people on there. Last year, there were nothing.
there's a lot of
I
people.
had to make up everything that I did with my kids if I did anything extra, which time-wise, I really didn't have any time to do anything extra other than the lesson, and then I would give them time to work on the words and things like that. They could practice decoding and encoding, or reading the decodable text to each other, because there were 2 of them in my group. So, you know, it's just whatever you can give them to give them that extra boost. Another thing that I love is giving a file folder, and inside that file folder, putting small picture, like, you know, just page size pictures of Val Valley and the articulatory gestures with the consonants, and especially for MLs. And if they have that little file folder with them, they can take it to whatever, you know, I mean, they can use it. I know they don't move in your classroom, but even the older kids could take it class to class. But with you, they could use it for anything they need it for. And sometimes just having that out and sitting on their desk, you know, they can go back through and they remember from the UFly lesson or from the skills block lesson, oh, A says at. And so they're looking for, you know, they can see how to articulate it, how to, you know, it just sparks memories.
Yeah.
I'm a visual person, and so if I see something over and over and over again, eventually it's going to stick in my brain. And so I like to see it. Yeah, but just using the file folder.
Is this letter alphabet? Well, I don't know if it's in this one, but you know the alphabet of EL?
Yes.
Do we have it in color
Yes.
anywhere?
Yes.
Can I have a copy of
can
that?
give
So I'll
you-
make that for my Lolo.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
I have one that he is struggling with his letters, but then when I show him the card, he'll go like, "Hey, says that."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay, then why
See,
can't
that's
you
what I'm
write it?"
saying. Anytime we can make that connection like with that little picture card, the sound card, the letter card, whatever, it's gonna, a lot of kids are gonna remember it that way.
Some of my 5th graders are still having
Yes.
trouble, especially with
Yes.
E and I.
With Spanish, I have
It's mostly a few of my MLs, but still some of my non-MLs. For some reason, that E and the I, when they see it, they know it. But when they're breaking, like we're doing the making words and they're breaking the words or they're writing it, they want to interchange them all the time. So I don't know.
Yeah, wait, that leads me to my question. I struggle with that as well. So, do you count that as like not half right? You know what I mean? But that's their native language, so I feel bad counting it wrong.
Well, no, because it's not necessarily their native language and how that is the sound.
Is it? Like I said,
Well, I'm saying like I have like it's not just Spanish. You know what I'm saying?
Mine's
Like,
Spanish.
So mine
I'm sorry.
like are from various.
Sorry.
But no, I mean I count it wrong because like it's the English, like this is what we're trying to transition to is learning these.
Yeah.
You know, my Spanish speaker, she's having the most trouble with the j sound.
Yes, because it makes the H sound in Spanish.
That's what she is really
It's
struggling
jota in
with.
Spanish, and it says, but that's something they really get stuck on.
So
I
then they
noticed
just
that.
got to like, you know,
Yeah.
memorize. You know, so yeah, I count it wrong, and then we talk about it. You know, because I show them their papers every time. Look at what you missed, because I write what the word should have been. You know, think about it, say it, spell it. You know, and you know, so it takes a few extra minutes, but I think it's important for them to see like what they messed up on and stuff on those little quick quizzes.
Yeah.
I just usually like look at them and I'm like, like, why am I screaming at them? But you know, but like when they still write wrong, I do show them same thing.
Yeah.
But I just and they know it too. When I like you're saying, like when I other times it's just the test. And I'm like,
I'll show you something. Do you think those would help at all? I did this for first grade. Miss Brooks asked for these.
yeah,
And it gives the real picture, articulatory gesture along with the letter and then with a picture, like a real life picture, which is super important in vocabulary these days. You know, they want it to be a real picture and not a cartoon picture.
Right.
And so this actually really shows them.
I'll do that.
So,
but I want it like teeny tiny for the folder.
Sure, I can figure it out. Chad will help me figure it out, right, Chad?
Thanks, Chad.
Mr. Technology over there. But I know Miss Brooks is going to use these as sound cards on a sound wall.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to laminate them, then cut them, and she's just going to put them up and use these. Number one, because she loves that they're diverse. All of the kids on here are super diverse, but it also gives that real picture of what it looks like. I know that sounds crazy.
Maybe I'll do that too, because I feel like there's like, I have one alphabet on the wall, and then I'm holding one alphabet, and then I use another alphabet for this. There's so many.
There's
Maybe
so
I'll do
many
that.
different ones. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've kind of put away my old guide to reading because I used to have just alphabet chart out to like forming letters. But like with EL, so many of the pictures are different, and it makes sense as to why they've changed the picture. So I've like put that old one away just to keep from the confusion of.
Okay. Maybe
I
I'll
was
do
talking
that.
to Miss Osborne about that last year. You know.
It is yeah.
And even more,
ELs are a little strange. I was looking at them the other day. Well, not the other day. I use them every day.
like,
but-
is E an E grid or something weird?
Huh?
No, I'm trying to think.
E is
There's-
edge. Like
Edge,
the
that's what
edge
it
of
is,
the
the
table.
table.
So the kids are like,
Yeah,
they're like, what is it pointing to? I'm like, edge. Whereas it was elephant on the other one, but that whole blend E is not truly saying the sound is why they.
N is super weird. We're learning N right now, but I can't remember what it is.
Some of the pictures I looked at and I was like, oh, and that's great. But EL is even behind on letter cards and vocabulary because they're still using animated pictures or
they
not
are.
real life pictures. I just read a study about vocabulary, and they're saying anytime you can use a real picture, use the real picture. Because that makes a difference, especially for our MLs. For whatever reason, giving them a real live picture of something is always better than
Yeah, I'll
using
take
the
that big
cartoons.
and tiny, please.
Okay, sure.
Sorry to put it on your plate more.
That's
That's
my
why I
job.
showed up.
That's my job. To put stuff on my plate.
Yeah.
Thanks, Miss Johnson. Nope, no
I'm
problem.
just kidding.
Yep, I can do it.
Oh.
I don't think she'll mind at all. Actually, I have her.
How small do you need it?
Like what's it called? Vanilla floater? Like teeny tiny.
Yeah. Like little blocks almost. Well,
But it's still gonna be big
Ooh.
enough that you can see.
Yeah.
The
let's play with it and see. I've
this
got the
big.
folder. I've got the folder with the stuff in it. We can play with it and see if we have to.
And I'd like it.
condense
I'm gonna
it.
put a Velcro on it because I don't want to put all the letters on it.
Good idea. Yeah. Well, and I have Velcro dots. I can order another 1,200 if I need to.
I think
That's all I've ordered this year. It seems like every week I'm getting a package from Amazon with Velcro dots for those little blending boards.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I
'cause-
want to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I love this idea. I think it's great. I know it's yet another alphabet with different pictures from the regular, but I think you just have to find the one that works. And this one, I love Miss Brooks's idea of using this because she said she thinks her emails will respond to it. So I agree with her. I just think it's a great idea. So, any questions about anything?
Nope.
All right.
I think that's it.